Time Gate Moments. Welcome.
Din 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 din
Hi there, guys, men, ladies, brothers, sisters, and anyone else out there that may be watching this video somewhere, somehow. Thanks a lot for watching. Welcome to the platform. Welcome to the channel, Time Gate Moments. Thanks a lot for watching, and make sure you hang around. Make sure you watch all the way to the end. Why? Because you are watching and witnessing the absolute truth on cosmology, cosmography, and seasons for sure. Anyway, in this video, Flat Earth Proof 24, or shall we say episode 24, we are going to answer the question, in many cases put across by globists, modern solar system proponents, and other people of that nature. They say, wait a minute, if the Earth is not a globe, if the Earth is not spinning at 1,000 miles an hour, if the Earth is not wobbling and shifting through space somewhere, somehow, if the Earth is not spinning at different locations, at different speeds, at different latitudes, then how on earth do we get seasons such as summer, spring, autumn, winter, and all the other strokes in between? How, they say, if the Earth is not wobbling and spinning, how do we get seasons? If you ever care to stop, think, listen, observe, research sincerely and independently, sooner or later, just like any other flat earther, it will also come to you crystal clear. But of course, you have to be open-minded, objective, and just for a moment, if you dare, just park to the side all that you have absorbed, you have been fed through the globe propaganda. Just for a moment. You can pick it up again later, but just park it for a moment and see it from a different perspective, if you dare. Let's just say the truth does not fear investigation. It is lies that are afraid of investigation and being found out. Now, here's the thing. 9.9 out of 10 globists and those other people who profess the computer simulated solar system narrative, they hardly do any research of their own. They just regurgitate what they have been fed by NASA and their countless CGI fiction of space. Nothing else. The truth is, just as you can see on this part of the video, with the sun and her motion from the east to the west, how seasons, time zones, day and night occur on our flat, stationary Earth is so simple, so observable, and so blatant. In fact, it happens every single day of your life, right before your eyes and above your head. You just never paid attention. Think about this for a moment and relax. Yes, just relax. Take a deep breath and just relax. Stay with us because you are in good hands. Look, listen. If space was really true and it's not just fiction, 93 million miles away, sun, stars and planets, galaxies that are billions of miles away, some of them trillions, 11.5 light years, 8.6 light years, 100 light years away. So if that is really the case, really, would we see the stars like this right here before your eyes with a simple camera just zoomed in? Panasonic, Nikon, Fuji. Yeah, you can buy one yourself and go and see for yourself. The point we are trying to drive home The point of emphasis is that the causation of our seasons, as well as daily time zones across the world, in relation to the sun's motion and circulation above us from the east to the west, is something that is deliberately hidden and concealed from the public in plain sight by modern cosmology and their myriad tactics of CGI, optic illusion, and mental captivity, for sure. As a result of profoundly researching the flat earth topic, we can assure you 100% that all these images of the leaning and tilting globe projections regarding our seasons are all fakes, computer simulations, and is part of the grand scheme to conceal how seasons really occur on the flat, stationary earth. Let's just say the devil is clever. Reason and intuition alone tell us when the supposed tilting of the globe Earth occurs, the direction of flow of the Amazon River should change either to the north or to the south, depending on the season and this supposed tilt. But in reality, that never happens because the Amazon River always flows from the west to the east. So, who is lying? The globe Earth, the tilt, or the Amazon River? The fact of the matter is, the sun is much smaller than our Earth, with a radius of 32 miles and at an elevation of 2,700 miles above the equator. It serves as a local light. The 93 million miles away distance and size is another major fabrication. Take a good look at this basic flat earth illustration from bird's eye view in order to fully comprehend how the seasons occur on our flat earth. As you can see, the outer circle, the black ring, this is the Tropic of Capricorn, as you already know from basic geography and textbooks. And then we have the inner circle, black circle. This is the Tropic of Cancer. And of course, in between, we have the white line or the white circle. This is the equator. To keep it basic, simple, and without any complicated terminology, the sun's annual motion and circulatory shifting between these two black rings or extremities are the causation of the seasons and all the variables in between. It is important that you understand something fundamental about the sun's nature and behavior. The sun is much smaller than the earth she serves down below, and therefore, because of her size and motion, she has a schedule to catch, a 24-hour schedule to catch. In some cases, depending on your geographic location and latitudes, your daytime hours, your daylight hours may differ less or more. For example, during the northern summer, whether you are situated above the Arctic Circle or in between the Arctic Circle and the Tropic of Cancer, your daytime hours as well as nighttime will fluctuate. Just to go back to this illustration, whenever the sun goes to the southern sky, that is the area and latitudes between the equator and the Tropic of Capricorn, this will cause the northern winter. And whenever she returns to the northern sky, that is to the area, location, and latitudes between the Tropic of Cancer and the equator, this will be the causation and the catalyst for the northern summer. Guys, men, ladies, brothers, sisters, and anyone else watching this video, there is no tilting or wobbling or leaning globe Earth spinning somewhere. Forget it. The sun, as you can see with your own eyes, every single day of your life, provided that you are living in a geographic location where there is more sunshine. The sun, as you can see, is very, 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 again, very close to the earth. And she has been subjected by Allah, the Creator and the Lord of the universe, to serve the earth with light, with warmth, appreciation. You see, maybe sometimes you don't look up, and sometimes you do, but she is always there, rising from the east and dashing across the sky before she disappears onto the western sky. By the way, men, ladies, brothers, and sisters, just to repeat something with emphasis, in case you don't already know, there is only one sun in our sky. Again, there is only one sun in our sky. And then there's the moon, and the rest are just stars. You see, just stars. And sometimes there are clusters of stars, referred to as the galaxies and what have you. You see, but there is only one sun in our sky, and here she is. The sun is so local. This is why you can feel her on your skin on a warm day. She also dries your laundry and your clothes. She also gives heat and germination to the plants and vegetation of our earth. And she also gives us the seasons.
Din, 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 din. Din, 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 din. Dee-dee-dee-dee-dee-dee. Dee-dee-dee-dee-dee. Dee-dee-dee-dee-dee-dee. Yay, 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 yay.
Now, this bit here is for the Muslims, in case there are Muslims watching somewhere, somehow. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. May the blessings, the peace, and the mercy of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala be upon all of you guys, wherever you are, the young, the in-between, the elder, the knowledgeable, the layman, and you know who, the Sunni, the Shiite, the Sufi, you name it. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. May Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala preserve all of you guys in this world and the next life. Anyway, with that having been said, just to refer you to this verse here from Surah Ar-Rahman, chapter 55 of the glorious Quran, where Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says, أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم رب المشرقين ورب المغربين. Now, just let's look at this verse in two parts. First, the mashriqain. Now, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is talking about the two easts. Basically, as they say, this is referring to what we have been discussing so far in this video in relation to the Tropic of Capricorn and the Tropic of Cancer, regarding the sun's motion and circulatory pattern and path over the flat stationary earth. Now, Mashriqain is just very simple. This is the location or the distance in between the most southern sunrise at the Tropic of Capricorn and the most northern sunrise of the Tropic of Cancer. You see, the location between these two distances or extremities, this is Mashriqain. And then likewise, we have the opposite, Rabbul Maqribain. Now, this is very important. Pay attention. But this is a very important distinction and differentiator. Now, when it says Rabbul Maqribain, the Lord of the two westies, this is referring to, likewise, the most southern sunset, which occurs during the northern winter, and the most northern sunset of the sun, which occurs during the northern summer. This is the Maqribain. So Allah is saying, Rabbul Mashriqain wa Rabbul Maghribain. Very simple. Muslims, pay attention. This is basic stuff in terms of cosmography, the shape of the earth, and the sun's annual circulatory motion above the earth. Very simple. And no Muslims, not yet. We are not finished with you yet. Not yet. Anyway, another very important and relevant cosmographic verse from the Quran is from Surah Yasin, right here, as you can see. Anyway, أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم, once again. والشمس تجري لمستقر لها ذلك تقدير العزيز العليم. That is what Allah says, subhanahu wa ta'ala. The sun is running on her course, her path, her circulation, her trajectory in the sky. وَالشَّمْسُ تَجْرِي. And here you are, Muslims, saying, NASA said the sun is fixed in the middle of the solar system, and the earth and the so-called planets and everything else, they are doing tawaf around the sun, circulating and revolving around the sun. Garbage. That is a complete opposition and contradiction to the Quran. Right there. You see, they are saying something, but we cannot observe it in reality. The Quran is saying something on the other side, but we can observe it real time and during the seasons. Come on, Muslims, you gotta fix up in terms of cosmology and cosmography. So this is it. So anyway, going back to this verse, so Allah is saying, by the way, yeah, ذَلِكَ تَقْدِيرُ الْعَزِيزِ الْعَلِيمِ. That is the fact that the sun cannot go any further south from the Tropic of Capricorn. That is her boundary. That is her hudud. She cannot go any further south. She has to stop at the Tropic of Capricorn, and then she has to return to the north. And likewise, when she reaches the north, the northern circulation, the most northern extreme circulation at the Tropic of Cancer, she has to stop because she cannot go any further. ذَلِكَ تَقْدِيرُ الْعَزِيزِ الْعَلِيمِ. That is the cosmographic measurement as set by Allah. You see, she cannot breach that. She has to stop within these two extremities. You see, وَالشَّمْسُ تَجْرِي لِمُسْتَقَرٍ لَهَا. This is referring to the stopping point of the sun at these two most southern and most northern extremities. She has to stop and return. You see, وَالشَّمْسُ تَجْرِي لِمُسْتَقَرٍ لَهَا ذَلِكَ تَقْدِيرُ الْعَزِيزِ الْعَلِيمِ. Because Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has set the parameters for her. She has to obey and stick to her schedule. So come on, Muslims, what on earth are we doing? Your Quran, right there. Open your book and read carefully when it comes to cosmology, the sky, and cosmography. Right there. The Quran is a geocentric book, 100%, crystal clear. Maybe you just haven't been reading it lately. Maybe you haven't been pondering. Maybe you didn't observe or research. أفلا ينظرون إلى الإبل كيف خلقت وإلى السماء كيف رفعت. Maybe you didn't observe. Maybe you did not do your أفلا ينظرون bit. That's why. Come on, Muslims. What are we doing? We are supposed to tell the people the truth about the sky, the earth, the shape of the earth, and everything else. What are we doing? Subhanallah. It's right there. You see, the Quran is a geocentric book. Go and check it out. And it shall become crystal clear to you. You see, and here we are. NASA this, India landed on the moon somehow in 2023. Yeah, right. It's all garbage. All in a studio. You see, computer simulation. You see, augmented virtual reality, or shall we say, sihr al-uyun. Check it out. You see, Allahu Akbar. You know what? We might as well let the non-Muslims. Yes, human beings are there, respectable human beings who are not Muslims, but who are very, very much interested in the truth. We let them explain, since many Muslims cannot be bothered. You see. Now, this next short video by Shadows That Glow. Yes, Shadows That Glow will further explain, will further clarify, will further substantiate the motion of the sun and how the seasons occur on the flat stationary earth, al-ard. You see, so check it out, pay attention, so you may understand what Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is telling you in the Quran. Here we go.
Number 9. Time zones. Day and night happen at different times at different places on Earth. In fact, it's always day somewhere and night somewhere else.
Okay, time zones. I think part of the problem is people who come from the spinning heliocentric globular Earth model, as soon as they hear flat, they just try to squish the Earth into a pancake and keep everything else the way it is in the heliocentric globular Earth model. Meaning, okay, now you just got this flat disk inside a solar system. And they try to apply the dynamics of the solar system in a massively huge sun 93 million miles away, over a flat Earth, and apply what they know in that paradigm to this paradigm. Well, that doesn't work. And it's just a knee-jerk reaction from people who haven't done any research at all, which is what I found predominantly to be the case. 99.999999999% of my, especially early detractors, did zero research of their own. In lockstep, they all just had a programmed response, knee-jerk response, and they were always the same responses. But I'm going, well, wait a minute. If we're on a circular still flat Earth set on pillars under a dome within which the sun, moon, and stars are placed on day 4, according to the Bible, then the sun and moon are what's moving, and the stars are what are moving, not the Earth, and therefore they are a lot closer and a lot smaller, as I've mentioned in the previous segments. So I created this animation. You guys have probably seen this. A lot of people have used it in their videos and stuff like that. It got mirrored quite a bit, where all I did is use a 3D software called Poser, which just basically, like it sounds, allows you to pose and move 3D objects. And so I created a circular flat Earth map and just created a little ball and made the ball a point light. And what a point light is basically just like it sounds like a point of light that you can adjust the parameters for how much light it throws off.
Yeah.
Then it would light up the entire Earth. But if you're God and you're creating a clock in a enclosed world system where there's a sun that rules over the day, then you don't need it to be a point light that's going to throw over the whole Earth, because you want to have night. So you just reduce the throw of the light, and it's not a spotlight. Okay, it's not a flashlight shining down on the Earth. It's shining out in 360 degrees in all directions, all the way around. Up, down, around, side to side, everywhere. But the reach of the throw of the light is just limited. And if that thing's going around, well, guess what? You have time zones. Problem solved. No big deal. Now, I should note something else, and that is that this animation is not to scale. The sun is not the right size, nor probably the right height over the disk of the Earth, at least according to the various estimations and things that I've read in Zetetic Astronomy and other books. So this being the case, it would explain why the sun couldn't be seen from those areas that are in nighttime. And if I were to shrink the sun and make it to scale and at the right height, probably the only thing I'd have to do would be to adjust the light attenuation setting to increase it to compensate for the smaller, potentially closer sun. so that it basically had the same throw as what you see here. And also, you probably have to take into account the reflectivity off of the firmament, which would scatter the light in certain ways that has been depicted in a number of memes you've probably seen online. So these are some things to consider when looking at this animation. Okay, so number 9, time zones don't prove a globe. Time zones can work just as well on a disk. While I was looking into all, how the sun works and how time zones work and things like that, naturally you start to wonder, well, how do the seasons work? And you may have seen this video before. A lot of people put it out there. Well, this came as a result of another video that I was working on when I was trying to figure out how does the 24-hour sun, or the alleged 24-hour sun, work in Antarctica. So first, I wanted to see how it would work, or if it even would work on a globe. So I created this little animation, and with the Earth at a 23.4 degree tilt. And you can see here that only certain parts of Antarctica would be in 24-hour light. The parts where it dips in closer toward the pole, that's where you would get a 24-hour sun, if it in fact actually exists. So I'm using Stellarium. It's heliocentric globe-based software now, created by people who believe in the ball. And I was modeling it, and it allows you to figure out, what direction you want to point the camera, what type of camera you want to use, and whatnot. And you could set your location. So I set my location to Antarctica, in I think it was the Ross Ice Shelf area, and I set the duration up for an entire year. I wanted to see the whole year, from the beginning of January to the end of December, to see what the sun was doing. And so you can set the animation up, and you can set the speed and duration and all that. So you don't have to sit there for an entire year. You can make the whole year go by pretty fast, and observe what the sun and moon are doing. And the software also allows you to turn off the stars and turn off the ground plane. And I got this idea, instead of just looking in one of the cardinal directions, north, south, east, or west, I decided to angle the camera so it was looking straight up. And the software actually allows you to, like, as if you're pulling the camera into the ground, and put it in sort of like a fisheye lens mode, where you can actually see all 4 cardinal points at the same time. And so I'm watching the sun and moon go over me in a counterclockwise fashion, because I'm looking up from the ground. So it's coming up from my right and going over me to my left, so from east to west, And after I modeled the whole thing and looked at it, and with the ground plane off and the stars off, it's just a black background with the sun and moon going around counterclockwise. Well, I thought, man, I wonder what that would look like over the flat Earth map. And so I punched out the black in my video software and put in the image of the azimuthal equidistant map. And then the only thing I did to that video was do a horizontal flip, because it was going counterclockwise from the ground view looking up. And since I'm now looking down from above, it needed to switch, from going counterclockwise to going clockwise. That's all I did. That's the only thing I did. And what I discovered was, and even though this is not 100% perfect, it actually shows the sun and moon going in an outer ring and an inner ring, going between the 2 tropics and going over the equator. So in our winter, in January, it's going in the outer rim circle, and in our summer, it's going in the inner rim circle, going between the 2 tropics over the equator. And the software actually made the sun speed up and slow down. Again, I didn't do that. I didn't do anything to it. I'm sitting there going, wow. And I'm thinking, did this software actually just show me how the 4 seasons work on a flat Earth map? I don't know, but it sure seems to work out pretty good. And if you haven't had a chance to, you should listen to the show that Zen Garcia and I did on it, because he took what I did here and basically was able to unlock the chapters of the Book of Enoch to talk about the path and the course of the heavenly luminaries. Fascinating stuff. But I don't have time to get into all that here, so let's go on to number 8.
sang sing song sing sang sing sang Sang yeah 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 song 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 yeah 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 song 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 sing song sing song yeah
Sing, sing,
yeah 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 whoa 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 whoa.